Sete, 6,5 til turen. Stage 9 of the Tour de France from Chinon to Châteauroux, 174.1 kilometers. We're rolling along here with Wout van Aert, who finished second yesterday. We've got a breakaway group. His lifelong rival, Mathieu van der Poel, is 2 minutes and 22 seconds up the road. And the peloton are being controlled here by Thibaut Naes, another one of the cyclocross world's superstars. Young Thibaut has been having a really tough start to this year's Tour de France. And I just want as well, yes, it was just funny that Wout van Aert, they said to him, about his form yesterday, and he was like, I was expressing anyone, if I get it next time, I'll tweet it that I'm going to be on form today.
Do you know what? Mathieu van der Poel is the virtual leader of this race overall now again.
He is indeed. Let's go catch up with Jens. We'll come back to that momentarily. Let's catch up with Jens. He's got Gianni Meersman.
As you can see, I'm right here next to the Kauf Alpecin König. Let me ask, that was part of the plan or just a coincidence? Was that planned today to go with Mathieu?
We thought, to be honest, that the race was going to be controlled until the first intermediate sprint, and then try to motivate some guys, at least 6-8 riders, to motivate to make the race a little bit harder than it was yesterday. But now the situation is like it is, of course.
Fingers crossed for Mathieu to have a nice day out there. Thank you.
So, here we are. Now we have all the answers we needed.
Back to your commentators.
Thank you, Jens. Gianni Meersman, great sprinter as well in his own right. When you look at this situation, though, Brian, and as you said, Mathieu van der Poel is now the virtual leader of the Tour de France again. He started playing 5th at 1 minute and 29 seconds. Jonas Rijkaard is well down on GC. But you look at this scenario, and as you said, Total Energies yesterday and other teams are looking around at it. You look at this, 174k, and you look at this, and you go, Mathieu van der Poel's attacking everyone. It's how that scenario, as Gianni Meersman said there, we're expecting maybe 4 to 6 guys to maybe go up the road. Mathieu van der Poel's got 2.5 minutes now. Again, it's like you, it's sort of one understanding in that bunch, in that peloton behind, everyone looking at that at kilometre zero and going, hey, Mathieu van der Poel's riding up the road. Because Mathieu van der Poel could do this all day and twice on Sundays, and it's a Sunday.
I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you and say we don't have all the answers. Like Meersman said, they were expecting, just like Guy said, Intermarché to go up and control things, have the sprint, and then look at something after the sprint. So then maybe
go back to some of the other cars and ask why they haven't gone with
yes. So then after the sprint, look at something with a group. So all of a sudden that doesn't happen, and then they go on the attack. They're in front, the two of them, and the answer to that question is they're not in a group of 6 or 8. So why are they going to continue to do this? I think potentially they might just keep it going until the sprint and see what happens, because where are the other 6 or 8 riders going to come from to join them in front? This is where we need Total Energies after the sprint today, not at the end yesterday, because they got a call. I still believe they got a call from ASO putting pressure on them to Jean-René Bernardon. But it's one rider they put up. Thibaut Naes has been put up for Lido Trek, and not having the kind of best Tour de France in his debut. But this will continue to rise. And it'll be interesting to see if they continue after the sprint.
I think they will, because if they're now up to almost 3 minutes, if anyone else wants to get across to it, it's going to take you, 50k, 60k, maybe more to cross that. If you're ever going to get across to Matthew Van Der Poel and Jonas Rijkaard, if they're just rolling out the tempo and the speed they are at the
I
front.
really do think if anybody's listening, that if there's a group of 6 or 8 or even more after the sprint, I think they'll wait for them. I don't think they're daft. They'll wait for them. I don't think for any moments they've got any opportunity of going to the finish and potentially taking the yellow jersey back. What a story that would be. But yeah, it's after the sprint here. That's where it might get interesting. That's where you would expect maybe the Total Energies and some of the other guys to try and get in that breakaway. But for the moment anyway, Rijkaard and Matthew Van Der Poel in front. Who would have thought that? The two of them on their own. And they're going to sit back. They're going to hear Brian's bells. Come on, Mr. Soundman.
L'église Notre Dame. We got Brian's bells today. Brian on this one.
Bit disappointed in that one.
It's a 17th century church, that one. It's a classic style. Built in 1638 by Jacques Le Mercier, inspired by the Antiquity Direct plastiers.
I think I'll take that sprint and I'll come back and probably similar situation to yesterday. But obviously they're just going to be quite stressed the whole day with this crosstail, okay? So it's going to be very different to yesterday in terms of the tension you'll feel on the bunch.
Yeah, I'll go back to stage 1 again, where there was tension all day. You know, there'll be something happening. So back to stage 1 again, where there was
سلام هو كلكم لكم أنا إنسان بداية سبرين أبي مع عشان كنت مزمهم مالتي حبشاوي نايزي مدرسة واحد ميت عن 4 سنة في حدا كيلومتر
they're not just doing this to go for the points. Why not just hang out there a minute and a half and just take this is not they're not going to sit up after they're just going to go full today. They're going to go full on. Hopefully they'll other riders. I tell you what, this is serious. We're going to try something ourselves, try and go across to them. But it's a head scratching day for sure. The stress on, there's confusion, but definitely similar to the stage 1 where it will be kind of very, very nervy, and especially when we get into the last, what I said, probably 40 kilometres now, because there could be, look at the flags, the wind direction will have an effect in the race come the end, but for the moment, kind of head crosswind, it does move around as the race heads towards the east, and it becomes a little bit more of a kind of tail crosswinds, which obviously helps the riders in front as well. So, yeah, the wind definitely is blowing. You can see that clearly from the flags that are flying, but it's just not in the right direction at the moment. But come the end, when we have a couple of right-hand turns and open space, that's when it will get very, very nervy. That's when we see a lot of nerves in the peloton. But for the moment anyway, 3 minutes. Don't put the pressure on. Take 3 minutes just for an intermediate sprint. They're not going to come back. They're going to continue. They'll hope that other teams might decide, oh, we want a piece of this. You got to remember, again, for the GC teams, they've got quite a difficult stage in the Massive Central tomorrow. So they want as easy a day as possible. And I don't think they're going to get it. I think it's going to be very nervy and very interesting come the final today.
Wout van Aert collecting bottles, going up through the peloton to his teammates. Second yesterday, Wout van Aert. Was good to see him back on sprint form yesterday.
It was. I think he had to do it himself, which is no easy task at all. He didn't have any help, so he was kind of ducking and diving, getting on the right wheel, putting the pressure on when he needed to, and he followed the right wheels and got himself a good final. So that will give him a little bit of confidence.
We'll see how that confidence builds as this Tour de France goes on. That's tough couple seasons as well for Wout, injury-wise as well. So he's just moving up towards the front now. You can see just moving up. to distribute to the teammates. So you got some beautiful views today. Just trying to find you their info on this chateau. They're putting them out in a strange order today. These ones. But we're heading towards our intermediate sprint, and Jonathan Milan and the other sprinters up towards the front. Is it potentially that because Biniam Girmay wasn't winning these sprints in the previous couple of days when Intermarché have sat on the front from the start? Do you think that's affecting things?
It's not a good sign that you give up. He didn't have the best of sprints yesterday. And throughout the day, we're hearing from other experts that it was going to be for Biniam Girmay yesterday. It's an uphill finish. I think he's a little bit kind of lighter than some of the other sprinters. He'll be here. That's the green jersey competition at the moment. He's still in third place. Pogačar has had a great start, probably the best start he's ever had in this competition. But he's still on the kind of sprinters, still second. Okay, he's 60 odd points behind. But you don't give up in your sprinter. You still give him that opportunity. Okay, if Jonathan Milan beats him in this sprint, he's still picking up the second best points that he can. He's still, elevating himself against, because Pogačar won't go for the sprints. So you have to consider Pogačar in the green jersey competition at the moment. But I don't think it's a good sign that you give up. You do it one day and then you don't do it the next day. And I think what you're alluding to, Marty, is because he's not sprinting as well. But how did they know how well he was sprinting in the first stage when they helped him out? And then in the second stage, they started riding in what was going to be a very difficult final for him. So to me, it's as if Intermarché have decided, well, we're not going to ride for you for the first sprint today, although we've done it in the past. We're not going to ride you today because we don't think it's going to benefit you. That's possibly the wrong message.
It is, but also they're a team that are here with a green jersey contender. They're a breakaway team, so why are they then not getting in the breakaways? Why are they not watching when Mathieu van der Poel rides up the road? It's not.
Why they may not try and go with Mathieu van der Poel? And then Ludo Trek would have chased him, and then it would kind of animated the race a little bit. But like I cannot tell you. I can only tell you what my experience and what I would do. I can't tell you, what's going through the heads of some of the sports directors. Of course, some of the sports directors, they're under pressure as well to deliver. And did they get it? Is that a bullseye?
Yeah.
But they're under pressure. They need a little bit of support because they're the people making the decisions, and on some occasions, it's sometimes a lack of making the decisions. You can put a plan in place, but sometimes when the crunch comes, you're relying on your team captain, your road, you're relying on information, but you have to make some big calls from time to time. This wasn't the plan of Alpecin de Koning. Ricard decided to do it. There was a moment of hesitation for Mathieu van der Poel. What's happening? Should I go? The plan was after the sprint, not before. And the plan was to have a bigger group. They don't have a bigger group. So it's that we've heard from a couple of sports directors already. There's a lot of confusion and nervousness in the peloton, especially in a day like today, because everybody was looking at the wind direction. On social media, there's a few people kind of review, and it was all win, crosswinds, win. That won't come until the final. And we heard from Joe Almeida, there'll be a bit of win, but nothing to worry about.
2.3 kilometers to go to the intermediate sprint. We are into the department of Vienne. So it's 6,990 kilometers is the department of Vienne. Some of its specialities. We know you love your specialities from these. We've got Poirier de Poitou, Haut Poitou Melon, Black Truffle, Farci Poitevin, Montmorillon macaroons, snails, tortu fromagère, and Hope Poitou wine. So we've got some good wine from this region. So competitions, Poitiers Futuroscope Marathon is a big one. Futuroscope, we've done a lot of stages that started or finished in Futuroscope over years. I remember we had a time trial here. 87, Stephen Roach win the time trial into Futuroscope. It's a great place to go as well. I've actually been to Futuroscope. It's a science park, and it's really interesting. I've been there a couple of times.
Well, we're 1.5 kilometres away from the sprint. The only competition on today's stage that there's a few people have been asking me, and we were chatting about it. We will discuss because after the sprints, I'm going to be joined by Carlton Kirby for a little bit, Marty over a little bit of an early break. But we will discuss afterwards when we get back together again about that sprint yesterday, 10 points deduction, and how does that compare to other sprints that have gone in the past, and no yellow cards, while there was a yellow card for other people. We'll discuss that a little bit later in the stage.
Will indeed. 1 kilometre to go into the intermediate sprint. The man in second wheel there with the rainbow bands on the cuffs of his jersey, Mathieu van der Poel, looking for 20 maximum points in the green jersey classification today. And in that green jersey classification, so Mathieu van der Poel sits fourth with 108 points. William Gamay with 124 in second place. So 150 kilometres to go. The two Alpecin de Koenig teammates sitting with a gap of 3:39. The question will be, after this sprint, what will happen? What will Mathieu van der Poel and Jonas Rijkaard decide to do in this one? There's your point scores down the right-hand side of your screen. 20 points for the win. Mathieu van der Poel will roll through here.
You're going to fight for this one, do you think?
They're having a bit of chuckle. Make it look good, boys. Come on, that's what we want. 300 metres up towards the line. It's like, right, let's make it look good. In this situation as well. Come on, Jonas, give it a nudge. Make him work for it. Here we go. So 200 metres to go up towards the intermediate sprint. Rijkaard leading out for Van der Poel. Are we going to have a sprint for the line here? Van der Poel's going to roll through. We know we're not. I'm joking. So Van der Poel comes through and takes the 20 points on the intermediate sprint. Jonas Rijkaard takes the 2. Takes the second place, 17 points. Now the next interesting part of this sprint. Mathieu van der Poel has just added a good 20 points to his tally for the green jersey classification. There's Jonathan Milan, yesterday's stage winner. Quinn Simmons, Stars and Stripes jersey. Simone Consoni behind him. Milan, then Skelmos just running the interference behind him. Jasper Stuyven, Thibaut Nace on the front here for the Lidl Trek team. William Gamay, few riders back here. We're expecting that charge from Intermarché Wanty. Biniam on these intermediate sprints generally needs one rider with him. We also see Tim Malier there, just in that white European Champs jersey. See what the breakaway juror decides here. Here's Yanni Vermeers. Gianni Meersman, sorry.
You get your Giannis.
You get my Giannis mixed up there. So comes up. See if there's a chat. Just seeing what the discussions were. As we wait for the bunch. So we're heading over the Chateau de Rivaux here. We'll try and find you the info on this one as well. As again, they said they're not helping me today. They're just to
let you know that we do get information, and we get a picture and what the chateau is. And at the moment, Marty's scrolling down all the pictures to see if he can recognize. Was that not at the one at the top there?
We'll try and find it here.
it's kind of picture on picture with the information.
Yeah, they are good to us actually. They do give us the chateaus just to help us. I'm not going to pretend that I'm that intelligent that I know all these amazing French chateaus just like that. But yeah, they're putting them out of order. They're not helping me today. They're putting them out of order. I'm completely blowing my the fact that I know all these places off by heart. Completely. I'm
Just kid on, you do.
I
Don't
do
tell anybody.
pretend it's a lot of study. I do read the day, but they're just putting them out of order for me today, and they're not helping me. It's not good. Right, let's take the sprint through. Quinn Simmons on the front. Jonathan Milan is there. We've seen the EF Education Easy Post riders come up.
Just looking at purple there. Luke Plapp is there. He might be looking at doing something after the sprint here.
And Ben Healy's not far away down in the corner, bottom of our picture there as well. Malit is going to try and find his way through. On the wheel here of Biniam Gamay, Anthony Turgis moves up. Plapp on the inside. It is Quinn Simmons, Simone Consoni, Biniam Gamay, Tim Malir. Turgis is there. Kokar moving up in the red and yellow colours there of Cofidis. Plapp trying to stay in contention. Simone Consoni now takes over on the front for Jonathan Milan. Gamay, Malir, all there. Malir, can they move through? Jonathan Milan, can anyone come over the top? Turgis comes through. Milan looks back. Gamay, but it's Milan, Gamay, Malir, all there.
I just noticed Fred Wright at the back as well. So two riders, Plapp and Fred Wright, potential. Just keep an eye on after this sprint to see what they do.
Yeah, they might have 50-meter gap there. Let's take you through the sprint. Turgis moves up. Jonathan Milan comes off the wheel of Simone Consoni. Turgis goes right. Gamay just not able to come over the top of Jonathan Milan there at the moment. Malir. So Milan takes 15 points there. And Plapp with Fred Wright on the wheel comes through. They're going to have to jump off this one, Fred Wright and Luke Plapp, if they want to get clear.
The question is, because Plapp is, he's good right for a breakaway, and Fred Wright will always be look at the opportunity. But why go with that sprint and not try something afterwards? That's the thing for me. Fred Wright can sprint. Plapp, not renowned as much of a sprinter, but why go with the sprinters there for the intermediate and not really going to try anything afterwards? In the meantime, this gap going up to almost 4 minutes now. Still a long way to go for these two, Ricard and Van der Poel. But Van der Poel, Ricard taking the maximum points. In Milan, Girmay actually takes the 13 points from Merlier. Turgis, Consoni, Kokar, Delay, Plapp, Wright, Simmons, Valgren, Sweeney and Bergmos.
That is our order. We've got 145.5 kilometres to go. The gap is 3 minutes and 55 seconds. I am going to hand you over to Carl Kirby for a little bit, and I'll be back a little bit later on. I'll just throw in there just a little question before I go there, Brian. But anyone who wants to control this, do you feel Van der Poel and Rijkaard have to let this gap come back a bit to then make it more appealing for anyone to try and jump across?
No, they'll push out, keep on going. Didn't think they would set up anyway after the sprints. So, they'll just keep going. They've been given 4 minutes. I don't think, they asked for those 4 minutes because Lido Trek only put Thibaut Nice up towards the front. They've since put Tom Squinch, the Latvian champion, up there. I don't think there's any real panic for the moment, but 4 minutes, they'll keep on going. For me now, it doesn't look likely that there's going to be any kind of counter-attack until we get into or any action until we get into the final throws of this stage today. You're probably looking at, the last 40 kilometres by then. It looks as if it's all about Jonathan Milan's team of Lido Trek to control the day.
Tenk deg at livet plutselig blir snudd på hodet. Og slippe hagearbeid i 6 til 8 uker hjelper litt. If hjelper mye. Velkommen til If Forsikring.
Nå det medlemskip hos Coop. Du får 30% rabatt på all kjeks fra Setre. Og stor avokado til bare 14,90 per stykk. Medlemskuppene gjelder i alle Coops dagligvarebutikker. Coop litt ditt. Beskytt hunden din mot flått og lopper i 30 dager med Front Pro. Den velsmakende og myke tyggetabletten. Bruk Front Pro.
Har du enda ikke prøvd Grandiosa pepperoni? Norges mest spiste.
سلام عليكم كلكم وبدلكم سبسكرايب جوجلكم يا غني اللي سكابل بيجا مسك سبسكرايب جوجلكم سبسكرايب جوجلكم سبسكرايب جوجلكم
Ja, ja, det er nok det opplærer godt.
Jeg liker det faktisk.
Perfekt. Nice.
مغنية خمسة كفيلة تقدي سكي زي
Saft meg hjemme selv og være i lag sammen med meg og drikke godt. Det er nå Norge er på sitt beste. Og kose seg.
As today's football icons, what would you do if you could time travel?
Magnum Double Gold Caramel Billionaire is expertly crafted with golden caramel chocolate and salted caramel sauce. For moments of true pleasure, only Magnum will do.
Skal vi game litt, eller? Den funker jo ikke nå. Nettbrett funker jo bare...
Nettbrett fungerer bare når det regner.
Ta-da!
Oi sann. Pappa! Skyld heller på Ice Junior. Et gratis abonnement for barn med kun 1 gigabyte data.
Surprise! Vi feirer 10 år, og nå får du 60 gigabyte til kun 299 kroner i måneden. Det er mye data for pengene, det. Jubileumstilbudet finner du på ice.no.
Life is a story we get to embrace every day.
Performance in 16, absolutely no sign of Mathieu van der Poel, his mate Jonas Rickert, giving away anything at the moment. Shout Almeida, he looked like he'd recovered well yesterday from a tumble, where he was carrying a cracked rib. Seemed to get more comfortable through the day, and that sometimes happens with a cracked rib. It's not dislocated, you understand. So here we are. Have you got any Chinon in your bidon? I think that's it. Absolutely not. I must say, I'm not a big fan of Chinon. Find it a bit flowery, a bit perfumey, looking like Beaujolais. I know it's a different grape, but the Cabernet Franc, I think it is for Chinon. But traditionally, they used to actually put the red wine of Chinon in the fridge. You drink it chilled, Brian, as you well know. Well, I've had that in Spain quite a lot, but they bring it out the fridge in Spain. Obviously, you know, hot temperatures and things like that. You know, wine is traditionally, you probably know more about this than me, that at room temperature, and room temperature is cellar. Room temperature is not...
It's not centrally heated modern 1960s tower block. No,
exactly. But some wines...
room temperature in a chateau.
Yeah.
Without heating. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But, you know, I've had kind of cool red wine in the past, but more so in Spain.
There we are. Well... It's not my favourite wine, but it is an absolutely beautiful part of the world. And the wind does blow here. It's amazing they can grow any grapes at all without being blown to the floor. And we're going to get that later on today
it's not absolutely a hoolie for the time being, but with a little bit of vectoring late on, we're expecting exactly that. Don't forget, at the moment, we have the Giro d'Italia Donne going on at the moment, the 36th edition of the race, actually. Yes, the final stage of the Giro d'Italia women's race. It's live now elsewhere, Discovery Plus. Reminder that you can watch both races, of course, as well, if you've got the right devices. Indeed, you're in the right territories. And there will, of course, be highlights a little bit later on. Not going to give you any spoilers, but I can tell you we're very close to the line, 12 k's away. So it's certainly one that's worth paying your attention upon at the moment. Big climb, we're just coming over the crest of it. There'll be a downhill run to a plateau which rises and falls. Fabulous race going on at stage 8 of the Giro d'Italia. Formation 23. They're actually attacking.
No, they'll continue on. Like when you get yourself in this situation, why push out to 3.5 minutes if you're going to set up?
Yep.
You don't make that effort just to set up and waste it all. If they'd just been sat maybe a minute in front or a minute and a half in front, you'd think, nah, it's not worth a candle, Carlton. But not when you push out to 3.5 minutes. When they pushed out to that, I said to Marty that they're not going to wait for anybody. They'll hope,
steel, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'll hope that some reaction from the peloton. Again, they'll hope with the win of Milan, because Soudal Quickstep's not going to come up and ride at all. They've not come with a team to. They're here to help Remco. All Merlier is here with his Bert van Leerberger. And all they're going to do is hope it comes to a sprint, but they have to use other teams. And the only other team, Intermarché, aren't riding. So it's all about Lido Trek and what they're going to do today.
Jonas Rutsch, happy to see you starting today. That was a nasty crash. Tell us, how did you sleep and how are you feeling?
Oh, I felt better before. Let's face it like this, or let's start like this. But good news is nothing is broken, so I can continue the race. And today I will have a hard day. I expect a hard day for me today. But yeah, we take it step by step and see from day to day.
How are the injuries, if you can try to describe it for us?
My shoulder is pretty banged up because I hit it with high speed. So it was a pretty big impact on it. And yeah, I have bruises, scratches, road rash, and yeah, the shoulder is not so nice. The movements are a little bit difficult at the moment, rotation-wise. But yeah, other than that, I'm okay as you can be.
Obviously, it's not ideal, but on the same time, it's also an important day for you guys, for Bini. How is it for you to try to get into that race mode after what happened yesterday and trying to be there for him today?
With that, I'm pretty black and white, I have to say. And today, I think anyway, the responsibility for pulling is not in first position with us. It's more with Trek. So yeah, that's why I can also have a little bit more like a day off, and then I just see what I can do. How I can support the boys around Bini, and yeah, that's pretty much for me today.
Have a good one, Jonas, and yeah, speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Took more than a hit yesterday. I was worried about concussion protocols, to be honest, because he actually looked knocked out. Anyway, he's all right, which is great news. But when a rider goes down and stays down, especially when they're motionless, it's a bit of a fright. So is this as well. Yesterday, Intermarché did an awful lot of work and got very, very little out of it.
They've done a lot of work throughout the whole race, and I was talking earlier on with Marty about this. Why just give up? We heard from Jonas Rutsch there that it's as if they're kind of giving up. That it's saying to Girmay, we don't think you're. Yeah, we don't think you're worth the effort, all that effort to do. So, which is not good if you are the sprinter. Like Rutsch, he's hopefully going to have a bit of a day off. Intermarché are going to ride. I thought before kilometre 0, myself and Marty were talking about it, that it could be a case of they'll ride again like they did the other day, and ride for what points they can get. And I think that's what Alpecin Deceuninck also said, that they were thinking that they would ride and then they would go on the attack after the sprints, but they were forced to do that 20 odd kilometres early. So they're not going to give up. They were hoping that others would go on the breakaway, which begs the question. In Total Energies, getting the call from ASO yesterday, Jean-René Bernardo is friends with the organisation. Come on, guys, try and animate the race. Why are they not going with these two? They did it yesterday. Why are they not? I'm scratching my head here to think of why is the other teams not. When you see that Marcel van der Poel